The Season 5 Reloaded update just dropped, which means the meta has changed, so I got y'all with the new best settings to help you pop off in all of Warzone and multiplayer. Which, to add some credibility to my name, I do have a 4.49 KD ratio in multiplayer. My highest kill streak is 157. I have hit iridescent in the ranked modes, and then in Warzone my KD is a little bit low. It's a 3.26, but overall it is my job to be good at the game, so I need the best settings. And I went over all the pros are using and everything, so just rest assured these are going to be great. So I play with an Xbox Elite V2 controller. It has the paddles on the back, allowing me to be able to drop shot and jump shot while still having very good aim. If you don't have a fancy controller, you can always just play claw, so then you use your pointer finger to actually hit these buttons, so then you can still have your good aim. If you don't want to do that, you can swap the button layout. You can go over here and swap that to tactical. It's going to make it so now you can drop shot while just clicking down the right stick instead of having to move your thumb or something over to the circle or the B button. What you can also do is bumper jumper tactical. This can allow you to jump with the top left bumper, so then you can jump shot while still having good aim, and that is very beneficial if you want to be very good at the game. Now, bumper ping off. I know a lot of players in Warzone do like it on. It's just a personal preference thing. I have a lot of 50 bombs on Rebirth Island and I still like it on off, but it's always good to ping your enemies. That is absolutely game changing when you get in the habit of doing that. Over here, I don't need to flip the triggers in the bumpers because I have trigger locks. The second I hit my trigger, the gun's gonna fire. With a regular controller, you have to pull the trigger all the way down for the gun to fire. So you can swap that, so then all you have to do is click a button rather than pull down a trigger. Makes it a little bit faster to shoot your guns and your pistol. Then for the stick layout preset, keep that on default. Controller vibration, this is going to be a little bit weird when you first turn it on off if you're used to on, because you know it's just you're used to having it vibrate and now it's not vibrating at all. But you know, less things shaking in your hand should lead to better aim. There's a reason why every pro player has that on off. Dead zone inputs, you are going to want to keep the left stick min around 1 to like 3. I wouldn't really go anything past that unless you have crazy stick drift, like if your guy's moving forward by himself. Left stick max, this is insanely important. A lot of people don't realize that you want to keep it between 45 and 75. If you have it on 100, you have to move the stick from 0 to 100 if you want to get the full movement speed. If you have it on 50, I only need to move it half of the way to get to max movement speed, and so it's actually so helpful for those quick little movement things. Right stick min, I have mine on 5. Even with a brand new controller, I'll still have it on 5. I find myself like overcompensating on recoil control if I have it on anything lower than that. One pro player, FaZe Celium, he does have it on 10. He's one of the best players in the entire game, but he's the only one that has it on 10, and it's because he's had his controller for so many years, and so most of you guys should be fine with 5. I still have stick drift with 5, but I still prefer 5. It's just less responsive if I have it on anything higher than that. Right stick max, have that on 99. Left trigger, right trigger, make sure that's on 0. It's just going to make it so your gun fires the second you hit the trigger, and that still applies if you swap it for your bumpers. Now for the aiming, this is literally for your centering. This is going to make you a lot more consistent if you can center well. If you're running around Rebirth Island, you want to have the white dot in the center of your screen wherever an enemy could be. If you have it on a very high sense, yes, you'll still have good centering, but it's not going to be as consistent as if you were to have it on like 6.6. Don't think about the sensitivity too much though, because you can get used to any sensitivity. You're just finding the one that you're most consistent with. 99% of players are the most consistent between like 6.6 and 8.8. Some Warzone players will have 10. Just keep it around here, and there's a reason why all the pro players typically run 6 and some of them run 7. ADS sensitivity multiplier, I have mine on 0.85. You might like 0.9. If you have the multiplayer or just in general, go play a couple games, mess around with the sensitivities and find the one that you're most consistent with. But like I was saying, you can get used to any sensitivity. You're finding the one that you're most consistent with. For the sensitivity multiplier, I have mine on 0.9, although I heard that's actually a little bit better to have it on 0.85. If you have all these sensitivities the same, you actually will have supposedly less input lag. I don't know if that's true or not. I just heard that from a few different people. Over here, I would lower this to 0.85, but it actually doesn't really let me unless I can move it in here. Yeah, so I just have mine on 0.9, then 0.9. So just keep these two the same for a reduced input lag. Aim response curve type, you want it on dynamic. Very few players run standard. I think every pro player runs the dynamic. It just makes it so if there's like 2 enemies in front of your screen, you can snap to each target a little bit easier. Then for the custom sensitivity per zoom, I have mine on 1.0. If you want though, you can match it with the other one, so then you're very consistent all around. For me, it doesn't really affect me too much though. Target aim I bit my tongue. Target aim assist on, obviously. Aim assist type default. Some pro players do run Black Ops, and one of my friends who's used shit on pro players before, kind of, he uses Black Ops, and so a lot of good players like Black Ops, but a lot of pro players play with default. Just don't really run precision or focusing, although precision is very good for sniping, but if you pick up a regular gun, you're gonna see it's very wonky and like you have way less aim assist. ADS aim assist on third person ADS correction type assist, motion sense behavior behavior off. And then if you guys want to copy all of this stuff, I don't really use that at all, so I just don't recommend it whatsoever. But if you want my settings, there you go. Now for the gameplay, automatic sprint is actually so underrated. The only reason people run automatic tactical sprint is so then they don't have to click the left stick to attack sprint. Therefore it's saving their controller, because when you're mashing that stick down, eventually it's going to do some wear and tear. For me, I play a lot of multiplayer ranked, and so if I have a submachine gun and I'm running at someone, if I'm tac sprinting, most of the time they're not going to be tac sprinting, they're going to be just sprinting. So then they're actually going to be able to bring up their gun faster than me, therefore they're going to win the gunfight. I've killed a lot of players on like Rebirth and Warzone just because they're tac sprinting and I'm sprinting instead, and so you actually can really shit on people with that. It's just, you know, you got to get used to actually clicking down that stick. Slide, maintain, sprint, make sure this is on. It is game changing when it's on. If you turn it off and you go slide around, then you turn it on, you'll see a insane difference. Sprint / tactical sprint behavior toggle, auto move forward off. Tactical sprint behavior, single tap run. That's just going to make it so you can just tap that left stick once if you want to start the tac sprint, and so it really doesn't become that much of a hassle. For all three of these mantles, make sure that's on off. It's going to allow you to more purposely mantle, not accidentally mantle on things like mid gunfight. For Warzone, hybrid is a must. You can dolphin dive like off buildings or off a little ledge, and your guy will fly forward, and then you can pull out your chute, and so it allows you to jump to buildings that you usually wouldn't be able to. Slide only is helpful as well. Just make sure it's on slide only or hybrid. Plunging underwater free, parachute automatic behavior off, sprinting door bash on, ledge climb behavior mantle only, gas mask activation actually automatic, aim down sight behavior hold, change zoom activation, sprint tactical sprint focus behavior hold, equipment behavior hold, weapon mount activation ADS plus melee, weapon mount exit delay off, tactical stance activation ADS plus down button. Although a lot of the time I just like to turn on off. If you're not camo grinding, never use it. It's never ever going to help you. I guess with the gallows shotgun, it is good to have it on there, so yeah, I would keep that actually on there. Tactical stance behavior on toggle, interact / reload behavior, prioritize interact is going to make it so you can loot so much faster. And a little pro tip, if you have to reload, just pick up a gun off the floor and then kill the enemy with that, and just hope that there's some ammo. It's a lot faster than actually reloading your gun. Armor plate behavior apply all, ADS stick swap off, backpack control directional buttons, depleted ammo weapon switch on, quick C4 detonation group, manual fire behavior press, akimbo behavior independent, vehicle camera recenter off, camera initial position free look, lean out activation melee, scoreboard map stats behavior toggle, ping wheel delay off, double tap danger ping delay off, wheels behavior hold. Now that's gonna wrap it up for the controller settings. Now over for the graphic settings. Because I'm a streamer, I have to use my other monitors a lot, so I like full screen borderless, although full screen exclusive is gonna eliminate all the input delay. So if I'm in a very sweaty lobby, I'll always have it on the full screen exclusive. Display monitor doesn't really matter, same with the display adapter. Aspect ratio automatic, restart display gamma 2.2 sRGB, brightness monitor specific, constrain mouse to game window off, and then eco mode preset efficiency, VSync 100%, custom frame rate limit custom, menu render resolution maximal, pause game rendering off, focus mode on 0, high dynamic range off, and that's just gonna maximize your FPS basically. Graphic preset custom, render resolution 100. You never have to do 101 or 99, just keep that 100. The fidelity on the upscale / sharpening is gonna make the game so much more clear. The visibility in this game really isn't that good, so you're gonna be able to spot out so many more enemies. Keep it between like 50 and 100. For me, I like 100, and that's what most players have. Reconstruction off, VRAM scale target. I am streaming, I have so many other tabs open that I like to have it on 80, although for you, if you're just playing the game or just watching YouTube and playing, have it on 90. Variable rate shading off, although your game might start to crash because of this, so if it does, turn that on and it should solve that problem. Texture resolution and texture filter anastrophic both on high. It's just going to increase the visibility on the game. Depth of field off, by default that should be on off. It messes up so many players, but that's one reason why I get more views on this, is because, you know, they just come with horrible settings. Detail quality level, if we look at this, you guys actually can see less of the plant if you have it on low compared to high, so make sure that's on low. Particle resolution very low. Bullet impacts, you will get more FPS if you have this on off, but a lot of time when I'm making a class, I'm testing out recoil patterns, so I like to have it on so I can see that. Persistent effects off, shader quality on high. If we look at the two shadows, you guys can see on the right, when you have it on high, there's going to be less of a shadow, so if someone's in a dark area, it's going to be a lot easier to see them. On-demand texture streaming off, local texture streaming quality low, shadow quality very low, screen space shadows high. If you want more FPS, have it on low, but your camos are going to look a lot better if you have it on high. Ambient inclusion off, screen space reflection, same thing. If you want your camos to look good, make sure that's on high. Static reflection quality low, tessellation off, volumetric quality low, deferred physics quality off, weather grid volumes off, same with the water quality. That's gonna again, maximize your FPS so then your game runs so much more smoothly. For the field of view, if you're on keyboard and mouse, you can literally get away with anything, so you can max it out to 120, take advantage of the extra, field of view, but keep in mind the targets are going to be a little bit smaller. That's why if you're on controller, you see a lot of players running 100. You get weird aim assist after 107, although the game is a lot more enjoyable if you're on like 110 or 115, just because it feels like you're moving so much faster. But if I'm in like if I'm playing in a tournament, I'll usually get used to 100 so I can just maximize my skill on the game. But typically on Warzone, even the pro players still run like 110 or 117 on there. ADS field of view affected, weapon field of view wide. And when I say pro players, there's like Warzone pro players, then there's the pro players in multiplayer, which the pro players in multiplayer are astronomically better and more skillful than the Warzone pros. A lot of the Warzone pros used to be multiplayer pros. They just couldn't compete in the league anymore. Third person field of view 90, vehicle field of view wide. World motion blur and weapon motion blur, make sure that's on off. Completely game changing, just like the depth of field. Film grain on 0. This is going to increase visibility. And then these ones just have it on least. It's going to make it so your game shakes a little bit less. Inverted flashbang, make sure this is on. If you have it on off, the screen's going to flash white and it's just very blinding. So this is going to make it so it turns black instead, and that's a lot better. That sounds kind of crazy. But for the audio, we're going to be having the headphones. This is what I personally found the best with my Astro A40s. I really like this. Some players do like the headphone bass boost and the home theater. Test out these ones. I don't really think I see anyone rocking the other ones. I just see most players rocking the headphones, and that's the one that I personally found was the best for me. System, yeah, this is all personal preference. Make sure this is on stereo. Although some people's PCs, they do like Windows default. I just found for my PC, it's stereo is the best one. And then you can kind of test it around and hear. It's just everyone has a little different audio settings. Master game volume 80. And then for the music, I have that on off so I can focus a little bit more. But on Black Ops 6, I'm definitely going to be having this on because the Black Ops 6 music, it sounds so good. Oh my god. Voice chats on, game voice channel all lobby, last words voice chat on, proximity chat on. A little bit, this is all personal preference. It's whatever you want. Sometimes this is annoying when you just hear people screaming in the mics and things like that and you can't focus on the game. Voice chat output device, personal preference. Same with all of these ones on here, but you guys can copy all them if you want these same ones as mine. Subtitles, I have it on default and everything on off because it gets a little bit annoying, and then just feel free to copy all of those, which that's going to wrap it up for the audio settings. Now for the interface settings, this is extremely important. Subtitles, I like, yeah, just default subtitle size, default subtitle, yeah, this stuff doesn't really matter too much. Color customization, insanely important. So if you didn't know, the human eye will pick up yellow first, which is why you see all like the road signs when you're driving around, they're all like yellow and orange. Those are the colors that the human eye picks up first, but that kind of blends in with the background of this game, so I don't really like yellow. So that's why for the enemy, I have mine on pink. It actually stands out greatly, but I used to actually run, I believe it was a red, just a very dark red, but pink actually really stands out, and it's kind of fun to mix it up. It just makes the game feel a little bit new at times. And then when you're over here, just max out your saturation and then max out your brightness and make sure you apply the custom color. I like my team being green, for my teammates blue. Doesn't really matter too much. Just make sure you max out that saturation. And then for the color filter, filter 2 is going to maximize the color, and then color filter target, both world color intensity 100. Same with the interface color intensity. That's going to wrap it up for the color customization. HUD bounds, always look at your minimap. Whenever someone fires their gun without a suppressor, they are going to show up on the mini map, and so suppressors are pretty broken. I wish they weren't as good because it kind of takes away the power of the mini map and reduces the skill gap, which is why I think they made the suppressor so good. This is just going to make it so you don't have to like look over as much to be able to see things on there. And the mini map shape square, you guys can see that it's a lot easier to act. Well, you can see a lot more of the map compared to the circle on there. Mini map rotation on, horizontal compass off. That is absolutely useless. Crosshair static is going to make it so it's a little bit easier to see when you're hip firing. Center dot on, and then I like mine on larger. I don't really like it like too big, and then this is like a little bit too small, so this is like the Goldilocks for me. Test out the ones that you like and just, it's all personal preference. And then for the hit marker visuals on, damage base hit markers on, player names abbreviated. I don't really need to see this much, although sometimes I will if my eyes just are sucking for the day and I just can't see anything. Then I will have like the clan on there so then I can see more of the enemy. But yeah, just have it one of these two. I like this one. Don't have it with just the dot because the dot's actually kind of hard to see. In-game text chat on, vehicle HUD prompts fade after 10 seconds, stamina bar on, telemetry. I have my FPS, my server latency, and my packet loss all showing on here. And then you guys can copy all of these things if you want, which that is going to wrap it up for this video. If you guys did find it helpful, make sure you leave a like. If you want the best Black Ops 6 type stuff and Warzone content, hit the subscribe button with the noties on. Hope you guys enjoyed the update, and deuces.